Hi there guys, Luis from Vintage Action. I hope you guys are all well. And today guys, I'll be talking you about Terminator Woman, this B gem from 1993, a new image film, actually one of the first new image movies, one of the first movies that have like a release low budget when they started the company. And this one, it's a must see if you are a big action martial art fans. This you have like legendary actors on this one. You have Michel Quissi, you have Jerry Trimble, and you have Karen Shepard in a movie directed, that's right, by Michel Quissi, Tang Po himself, the guy that you guys know from Kickboxer 2, Lionheart, and many other movies, but mainly those three that made him like super famous. The movies he was with Van Damme, he was a real life Van Damme like a friend, even before they traveled to US, right when they were in Belgium. That's why he was in many Van Damme movies, and he was great as the villain as Tang Po. And this one right here, for me, it's like a great like B gem action movie that if you really are into martial arts, this one is a movie you cannot miss, because you have legit like champions like Jerry Trimble, Karen Shepard, and Michel Quissi himself. He was a great like amateur boxer. And he's a martial artist. He's like 100% like a legit Michel Quissi. And this one was super in a way popular in the B world VHS like era, being like like a B movie. And Terminator Woman, it's the original title, but this one has so many different titles around the world. I mean, literally, the US VHS like video title was Eliminator Woman, and that's the title I remember as a kid, because I had the VHS, and even in Portugal it's called Deadly Confrontation. That's the title in Portuguese, but I remember watching the movie on VHS, and obviously we always like had the original English title, and then the Portuguese title subtitle that was Deadly Confrontation. But the title I remember like growing up with, it was like that I had on my VHS. It was literally that one, Eliminator like Woman. This one is called Kickboxer, Kickboxer Terminator, like in Spain, is known as also as Backlash in France. I think in Germany as well, Thunderbolt, like Backlash, American Full Contact in Argentina. So basically, this one has so many different titles all over the world. But for me, it's like a super fun, entertaining. And this one is one that if you guys are in the UK, this one is kind of easy to get. Fortunately, this is not one of the new image movies that were not released here in the UK, like a lot of cult classics from new image that they were not released here in the UK. This is not the case here. I have this is like a double bill with two new image movies, that you have Terminator Woman from 93, and you have The Traitor's Heart with Brian Genesee. So you can get this one for roughly £1 or £2, super cheap. You can find it on Amazon UK. You can go to eBay. This is not out of print. You can buy it new, you can buy it used. And again, between £1 and £3, you can get these two B classics, B gems from New Image. But if you guys want a single release, that I know a lot of you guys prefer a single release to have a case just for a specific movie, you can get a single release for Terminator Woman in UK. And again, you can get it for just one or between £1 and £3, super cheap, new, used as new, and the artwork is this one here. Basically, it's Karen Shepard here, like on the cover. So basically, in Europe, if you guys live around Europe, it's kind of easy to get this one because this one is like a Italian release as well that comes with the Italian and original English audio. You have also a German release that comes with German and English audio, and there is a French like DVD as well, but that one I think is only dubbed. So if you guys are in Europe, it's super easy to get like Terminator Woman. In US that I know of, and I did some research, I don't think this one has been released on DVD in the US. I don't think so. Only on VHS, but I might be wrong. But I think I checked and I didn't see any US official like DVD release to this one. And again, being like a new image movie, this one is not on YouTube for free. This one is not on Plex. This one is not on any streaming platform, at least here in the UK. I checked online. I think it's on Daily Motion. Someone uploaded to Daily Motion, but you know how that works, right? So, but when it comes to official like release here in the UK, it's super easy to get this one. Again, guys, go to eBay, Amazon, and you can easily buy this double pack with 2 new image movies, or you can buy the standalone release to this one. And this is like great if you are big fans of new image. You can get these two for super cheap. And again, there is no Blu-ray to any of these, so the only way you can get this into like a physical media, have like a physical copy, is if you get this like double pack or like the standard release. When it comes to the movie, and this is, as you can see here, like the main menu. I had this one on VHS, and obviously I watched this one probably the first time, I don't know, around 94, 95. I remember renting it on the VHS store, and obviously I know who Karen Shepherd was and Jerry Trimble, obviously, because I've seen a few movies. But obviously, when I rented this one, it was more like Michel Quissi, because basically Michel Quissi was Tong Po, and at the time I said the VHS cover said, oh, he's directing this movie as well. And to be honest, I think he did like a great job. So basically, and again, when you have 3 big stars like these ones, and you have Ted LaPlante as well, that you might know from American Kickboxer, Project Cheddar Chaser. He plays like Sergeant Fetz. He was in a lot of like late canon movies and new image movies as well. You have like Len Sparrow Hawk that plays Marsalis as well. So another guy that was in some canon movies and new image movies. So there's a lot of familiar faces, and this movie is one of the first done by New Image, obviously filmed in South Africa, like the late canon movies and most of the early like New Image movies. Then, you know, late 90s, beginning of 2000s, they started like to film like a lot of their movies in Bulgaria, obviously, but this one was entirely like shot like a film in South Africa. And basically you have Jay and Julie. The plot is like 2 LA cops that need to escort like a criminal, like a witness to South Africa, that is Marsalis. Basically, Marsalis, he was like a bookkeeper for Michel Quissi, that Michel Quissi plays like a crime lord in South Africa. And you can see the opening of the movie, it's like in LA, pretending to be in LA. Obviously, it was filmed in South Africa. And you see 2 guys that work for Quissi, and they are going to betray like Michel Quissi, that plays Alex Gately, and basically they are like planning to steal 100 million in gold from Michel Quissi, and obviously Michel Quissi knows about it, and that's the big opening. Michel Quissi and Marsalis and the other guy that are like planning to steal the 100 million in gold from Quissi. And that opening scene, you see one of the guys trying to attacks Quissi and basically scars Quissi for life. He gets like a big scar throughout the movie from that cut he got from beginning of the movie. And obviously after the guy like attacked Quissi, he kills that guy. But the problem is Marsalis escaped, and basically he escaped. Quissi went back to South Africa, obviously. And 3 months after that that big opening, right? You see like Julie and Jay, basically Jay and Julie, Trimble and Karen Shepard. They are going to escort Marsalis that escaped Quissi in the beginning of the movie, and they're going to escort him to South Africa. So he can be like a witness because he knows a lot of the wrongdoings from Michel Quissi, all his like obscure business, drugs, all sorts of like human trafficking. Is involved in a lot of legit businesses, but a lot of obscure businesses in South Africa. And obviously, he goes there to testify against Quissi. But the problem is, Quissi controls everything in South Africa. And obviously, he got information from inside the police that Marsalis arrives to South Africa, is being transported by Jay and Julie, Trimble, and Shepard. And obviously, he wants to get Marsalis because Marsalis escaped. But now that he knows he's back in South Africa, he wants his 100 million in gold, back, obviously. And the problem is, you see, Trimble and Shepard are the ones escorting Marsalis, and then literally it's kind of like the opening after that LA opening with Quissi and these two guys that work for him. You have in South Africa, you see straight away a car chase. The bad guys that work for Quissi, they want to get Marsalis from the police that is being escorted in the same car as Shepard and Jerry Trimble. And straight away you have a car chase and a great shootout, a great fight scene when you see straight away Jerry Trimble and Karen Shepard showcasing their martial arts skills. But basically, the goons from Trimble, they failed to get Marsalis, right? And then Trimble and Karen Shepard, they get Marsalis to the South African police, and then it's when everything starts. You see Trimble and Karen Shepard, they go to a nightclub called Backlash. And basically, Backlash was supposed to be the original title, the working title. That's the name of the nightclub when basically the action starts. So basically, Marsalis is in jail, waiting for the trial to testify against Quissi. And then you see just like Quissi, and you see Trimble and Shepard going to a nightclub just to have some fun, right? They are going to be in just South Africa for a couple of weeks, right? And then they go to this nightclub, and obviously it's a nightclub that is owned by Michel Quissi Gately, but obviously they don't know that, obviously. And Quissi needs a leverage because he wants Marsalis, he wants his gold back, and basically what's going to happen is the goons in that nightclub are going to kidnap Karen Shepard, right? And unfortunately, Trimble is there, but he's not able to realize that. So basically, she disappears and Trimble doesn't know what really happened, but she was just literally kidnapped. And basically, she's kidnapped. She's they got her and they brought her to the forest, right? And basically, you see Trimble is going to start going after her, and but this is not your typical you have the main star of the movie Trimble, and he needs to go to the dams in distress, and he needs to go and save her because she's Karen Shepard. And basically, they take Shepard and they take another girl. They kidnap another girl that was in a nightclub, and as well. So they want to use Shepard as a leverage. So basically, Quissi, he calls the police, he calls Jerry Trimble, and he says, give me Marsalis and I'll give you the girl back. I give you Julie back, Karen Shepard, and he's going to use her as an exchange, right? But the problem is, what they are not expecting is Karen Shepard is a badass, and she's a martial arts expert. So on this process, right, she's going to escape, and Michel Quissi is not going to be happy about it, and she's going to escape with the other girl through the forest, and in all this process you see Trimble as well, trying to get to her, looking for her, but he's not finding her, but basically. And you see all the goons all the time trying to put Trimble down, but they are not going to be able to do it. And then the climax, basically you see Trimble looking after her, and you see Shepard like escaping, and in the end they're going to meet, and everything is going to be just fine. But you're going to see like a big clash in the end, a big fight scene between basically Michel Quissi and Jerry Trimble. I know the plot might be a little bit like plot holes, unintentionally. There is some comedy. The plot is not the most important in these kind of movies. Obviously, this is a plot probably you have seen like a million times. Okay, she was kidnapped, and okay, give me the guy I want, I'll give you the girl you want, but the girl is going to escape because she's a badass, and Trimble is fighting the bad guys, and at the same time, Karen Shepard is fighting the bad guys on her own, and Jerry Trimble is fighting the bad guys on his own on another part of the city. And in the end, they are going to meet, obviously. And you see, like, and there is this girl, Ashley Aiden, like Myra, that in a way she's like with Michelle Quissi. She's pretending to be the girlfriend of like Teddy LaPlante, Sergeant Fett. So she's getting all the information inside the police and giving it like to Michelle Quissi, obviously. But in the end, you see some twist because she wants to get the money for herself, and obviously you see Shepard going after her, and then you see Michelle Quissi fighting Jerry Trimble. And let me tell you, the final fight scene inside like a cave is literally a great fight scene. I mean, the fight scenes on this movie are like amazing, great fight scenes. Jerry Trimble, Karen Shepard. Obviously, on this one, you don't see like Michelle Quissi fighting too much. Basically, the big fight scene from Michelle Quissi, it's like the last fight scene where he fights like Jerry Trimble. That the big climatic like fight scene. Obviously, Quissi was the director, so he let his stars like shine brighter than himself. So you can see he directed this one, and he didn't want like to be like all about himself. So he let like all the great fight scenes with Karen Shepard and with Jerry Trimble. It was also Michelle Quissi that fight choreographed like this movie. And again, it might be plot holes and everything, but when it comes to the fight scenes, this is a B movie. Don't forget about it. So you guys know the fight scenes are great. Amazing. And the final fight scene, again, guys, inside the cave between like Jerry Trimble and Michelle Quissi. It's a great fight scene. It's a must. And there is a great scene in this movie when basically Karen Shepard escapes from like the jungle where she's like captive there. One of the goons from Michelle Quissi goes to his office, and he says like, "Sorry, boss, I have to apologize to you because like the girl just escaped." And basically, you see Quissi grabbing the guy, throwing him out of the window, and he says like, "Apologies accepted." That's a great scene. But this is not your typical like Michel Quissi, like you see him with nice flower like shirts, well dressed and everything. Totally different from what you have seen him in Lionheart or like Kickboxer. He plays like a different role, but obviously still like that. Imposing presence, especially with the scar he got like in the beginning of the movie. So this is a great like a B action martial arts movie. There's plenty of like martial arts scenes through the movie. Jerry Trimble, Karen Shepard. Obviously, Jerry Trimble is like the main guy in the movie. They could have probably have given like a little bit more fight scenes with to Karen Shepard because she was a great martial artist and champion as well. But they went more like basically Quissi giving more like fight scenes to Jerry Trimble. I mean, she still has plenty of like fight scenes in the movie, but they could have maybe a little bit more fight scenes to her, because some of the scenes she's involved, they're a little bit like there's some comedy involved as well, when he's like Jerry Trimble. He's just like a badass, like kicking and punching everyone, an amazing martial artist. But in the end, it's more about Trimble and about like Karen Shepard, and Quissi plays like a nice villain, and I think he did a good job directing this one, being like a B movie. And Quissi had no experience directing movies. Basically, he was in 3 or 4 movies before this one. The Two Kickboxers, Lionheart. So he was not in many movies. He was into The Death, that is like the official sequel to American Kickboxer, not American Kickboxer 2. So he was in a few movies, but he had no experience like directing any movie. So I think he did a good job. So 100% recommend, like Terminator Woman from 93. This was, I think, was filmed in 92. Other places say 92, 93, but the official release date is 93. When it comes to this DVD, the picture quality looks just fine. For like for a DVD, it looks just fine. This is not a Blu-ray or anything. And let me just put here so you guys can see the picture quality. And again, it's 4:3. This is not widescreen or anything, as you can see. But for a DVD, it looks just fine. This one, as you can see here, this was released in a double bill. Here in the UK, this was like mid 2000s. Most of these DVDs were released beginning of 2000s, mid 2000s, between 2000 2005. And again, you see here Ted LaPlante. You see there like Jerry Trimble, Karen Shepard, and Sparrow Hawk that plays Marsalis. And this is when they are transporting like him. He arrived to the airport and transporting him, and they are going to be ambushed by the goons from Quissi to try to get him. And again, there is some scratches to the movie, obviously, but for a DVD, as you can see, the picture quality, it's quite acceptable. This is not like a VHS rip or anything. This is a legit DVD, and you can see here like Trimble. So the quality is quite acceptable. And you can see, let me just fast forward this here. It's one of the scenes where Shepard is like escaping with the other girl. And this is a day scene, as you can see here. So the picture quality, it's really acceptable. Shepard there. Let me just fast forward here. It's another scene where he goes to the nightclub. Here you can see like Quissi there with the scar on his face. Let me just fast forward this, or like through the end. And again, this is like, if you are in the UK, this is super cheap to get. And this is like the final like, basically like fight scene. And you can see like, here it's the opposite here, because this is the big like final fight scene between the Quissi and Jerry Trimble. And let me tell you, this is worth it. So just for this like final fight scene between the legendary Michel Quissi and the 100% like legit and legendary fighter like Jerry Trimble, this is 100% worth it. So Terminator Woman from 1993. Get this one if you don't have this on your collection. If you are in the UK, super cheap and easy to get, double bill or single like release. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Terminator Woman, if this one was one of your favorites growing up as well. A great action martial art movies. And yeah, comment down below, hit that like button. As always, your opinion is important to me. So just tell me what you think about it. Let's talk about it. And as always, I'll be with you guys soon, bringing you all the action from the 80s and the 90s that we love and we grew up watching. Keep strong, guys.